Hello, welcome to another watch build. Well, today I'm going to be making a watch based off the Rolex Explorer, like a watch with a GMT hand. Really cool, really cool. I was looking for a while, I was looking for a watch style for my next build, and I was looking at nice sort of vintage style watches. Didn't really see anything interesting until I saw a YouTube video. I think the title was like, why Rolex needed a watch for cave explorers. And that was a video about the Rolex Explorer. And I was like, that is the watch I want next. So I set off looking on AliExpress for all these parts. And I decided to film the process. So before we get into the NH34 movement I bought, I'm going to put on some nice finger cots, as I kept on getting shouted at in my last videos for not wearing them. So I brought a huge bag full of them. Right, now they're on. Let's look at the movement I bought. It's really nice movement. I think it was packaged upside down. I'm not sure. But I always like to make sure it works. So I'm going to give it a little wind. Just to make sure it's all ticking nicely. And there we go. Took me a bit of time to put some power into it. I was getting a bit worried. But no, all looks good. I'm just going to pull the stem out just to stop it from ticking. And in the same box, I also get the stem that I'm going to need to attach this. So now let's move on to the dial. So there's a glossy white dial. It's got writing on it. It just says like a GMT automatic. I mean, that's fine. Luckily, it doesn't have a fake Rolex logo, because I'm not sure I'd like that. I know I'm copying it, but I don't want to actually try and make a fake Rolex. It's so nice. As you can see, that gloss there. I do want to put my logo onto these watches that I make, but I'm not sure how to do it. I've briefly looked at a process that involves a printer, but I haven't got a printer that would do anything that high quality. So if you do know how to sort of start looking into that process, do let me know in the comments, because that'd be really cool to put my name on my watches that I make. So now I'm just putting this on top, because as you see, the other side of the dial, the back side, it's got 4 feet, but you only need 2 to attach it to the watch. So you need to cut off 2. And I always have to triple check I'm cutting the right ones off. So I'm just sort of lining it up just to make sure I cut the right one off. I'll bring in my snippers. I cut the bottom one off on the right. Make sure the watch movement is far away and close when I do that, by the way. I almost had an incident on the last watch I made where when I cut the feet off, it landed very close to the movement. Could have been bad. So I'm just making sure that was the right one. But what's done is done. So that fits in nicely. Now I check which one on the other side needs to be done. So I just align it over top. Yep, checking again. I'm a big fan of measure twice, cut once. The watch movement is closed this time. Now the dial should fit real nice. Almost did it upside down. Although, that reminds me, I have been looking into making a left-handed watch where you would wear it on your right hand. It can be done. You just need to turn it upside down. But the problem is, you can only do that if it hasn't got a date window. But if it does, I'm sure there are watches that have the date window on the 9 o'clock position. Yeah, so that way it can be turned upside down. Now let's move on to the hands. Oh, the light's gone off. And as you can see, this one comes with an orange GMT hand, which is really exciting. As you can tell from the last video about the airplane watch, I like watches that have one feature that's just a bit different to the rest of it. So this kind of ticks all the boxes. So now, before I put the hands on, you've got to set it to just click over at midnight. That way you know all the hands should align at the top. There we go. I'm going to leave the stem out just so it doesn't tick while I try it. So the first hand to put on is the GMT hand, which is quite odd because I don't have a hand pusher tool that wide because it's slightly wider than the other hands. But I managed to use the biggest one I could and sort of rock it around instead of push all at once. I'm sure there's a better tool out there. So you can use just a bit of white blue tack to place it. And my plastic tweezers to guide it. So yeah, this tool isn't really the right size, but as you can see I sort of rock it around. Sort of shimmy it down, wedgie it down. And did a good job, first time as well, which is quite rare. Now we're just going to move on to the hour hand, which is the next one up. So again, just sort of blue tack to hover it, and then nice soft plastic tweezers just to guide it onto the post. Now my hand tools actually should fit, so this one goes on pretty well. Now is the minute hand. Got to flip it back over. Seems to be on. So now I'm just turning it, making sure nothing hits anything that it shouldn't. Again, it's really difficult to film this and build it at the same time, so apologies why things aren't in frame. There you go, it's better now. And it all looks good, nothing's hitting anything. I was worried that GMT hand is going to hit the sort of dial marks, divisions, where it's 9 o'clock there. But it doesn't at all. It looks like it will. It's just alright. So now it's time to install the second hand, and I don't know if you remember from the last video and the video before that, I'm not good at this. It's just because it's got to go around a very thin post that I just can't see. So it's pretty much guessing. So if I just push that stem in now, see if I've done it, if it ticks or not. And it does! First time! Well happy with that. Now making sure nothing hits anything. Looks like it's all good. Oh, what a good looking watch. I think it's the gloss that makes it great. Because the last watch had a matte. And that suited it. But for some reason this gloss is very, very well done. Even though it's from AliExpress. So now I'm going to get the case out. I originally wanted, you see that black bezel? I wanted that to be silver to match the Rolex Explorer. But I didn't want to copy it completely. And I figured I can change it afterwards anyway, I believe. So I went for the black one. I also went for the glass back, which is, again, is not the real Rolex, but I wanted it anyway. So now I've just taken the bracelet apart. Move the spring bar out of the way. It was looking a bit bent, so I might replace that before I put it all back together. Just undo the glass back. The front of this watch has that date window magnifier thing. It's a great idea, but the problem is it doesn't look good. It just doesn't magnify it well. And you kind of got to close one eye to view it. It's not a good magnification. I wish I just didn't get one with it. That was the option. I thought I'd want it, but it turns out I don't. But now we know for next time. Just make sure it all works. Now I've got to take the stem out, and using advice from one of the last videos, I sort of pinch that stem with the box. So you push that and it just falls out. And I found to do that is you put the case over it and make sure it's on a bit of cloth. Oh, that looks so good. And then you sort of hold it and turn it all upside down together. That's the best way I found to do it. Let me know if there's any other ways. But this one works out pretty well. So now I've got the stem that came in the box with the movement. And I'm just going to screw it into the crown just to see how much I need to take off. Just pretty loosely. Yeah, just to get an idea of how much needs to go. And it all seems to work as well, which is great. And now this is the bit that I actually mess up. You'll see. So I actually cut a lot more than I should have with this. The last video I talked about doing it very slowly, and that worked out very, very well. Although it took a bit of time, I got it pretty much dead on. This one, I thought I could do it in one go, and turns out you can't. So I thought this was the final time screwing it on. Brilliant. And as you see when I put it back in, it just didn't engage, didn't lock. It just falls right back out. And the only way to get it to lock was to actually screw it down. So you can't actually set it. You can't do anything. You can't wind it up. And I was gutted. But it's my own fault. I didn't listen to my own advice from the last video. I did have a box of stems and crowns that I thought would fit. But they don't. So here's me taking it apart. And I go and grab my box of stems and crowns to see if any would fit. So this is what I have. Like, this was from AliExpress ages ago. I think it was like 80p, this whole box. I don't know why I bought them actually. So that one there is the one that was too short. So I'm just looking at the ends, see if they match up. And that one doesn't. Also, didn't notice this one bit at a time, but my finger cuts have sort of split. Not great. That's really embarrassing how I didn't know that. But I can save the trouble. None of these fit. So I don't know what the point of this whole box is. Maybe the crowns are useful someday. So here we are, an entire week later. And we finally have some stems. I'm just going to take out... I just kept the old on there just to sort of keep everything in place. But now I'm unscrewing it, and I'm glad to get rid of this one. So I've actually cut this off camera, which is really not good for a YouTube channel. And all I wanted to do was go out and eat lunch. So I thought the quickest way to do this was just not bother about filming it. I know, I'm sorry. And it looks like it screws down all the way pretty well. Just zoom in here. It screws down all the way, so it should be pretty good at water resisting it. Water resisting it? Waterproofing it. No, that's too official. Keeping it sealed as best as I can. I'm just making sure I can also pull it out to set things. Screw that glass back on, and then flip it over. And it looks so good. Now just make sure everything can still move. And I also found a lot of trouble in setting this date and time. Because you've also got that GMT hand can also move independently, which I didn't know. So if you pull the stem out, so you're setting the date, if you twist it the other way, it moves along that GMT hand by an hour increment. So I think that's one of the ways that you can keep track of time zones. You can do that, or you can rotate that bezel. So now here's the fun bit of taking all the plastic wrapping off. It was like Christmas morning. What I don't show in this video is how I adjusted that bracelet. Again, I should have filmed it, but I just wanted to get to lunch and do it as quickly as I could. So I think I took 5 links out. Pretty much as you could do. I've got very small wrists. And even then that wasn't enough, so I had to use the sort of micro adjustment bit in the actual clasp, and that took a whole, I want to say half an hour, but I'm sure it was more than that. So by the time I finished this watch, I was starving. But look at it, it looks so good. You can see that sort of rubbish magnification I was talking about. Just super proud. It was a great experience. Thank you all very much for watching, and let me know if you've got any advice for my next watch build or anything you want to see. Thank you very much. Goodbye.